Hello, everyone. This is Stacy. Welcome to the landing.
Some folks you grow up with just stay steady as the tide, and our guest today is one of them. A true down east jack of all trades, he's never been afraid of hard work and never too busy to lend a hand when someone needs it. The kind of man who can fix just about anything and show up right when it matters most. He's earned a reputation as dependable to the core. Many of his friends describe him as a good guy through and through, and that says it all. We were classmates years ago, and it meant a lot to cross paths again and catch up with someone who stayed just as genuine as ever. So sit back and enjoy our reconnection. Hello, and welcome back to the landing. We are so glad to be here today with the gentleman that is sitting across from me. We go way back. We've known each other for quite a while, going to school together, graduating together, but we haven't seen much of each other since graduation. So I can't wait to hear what he's been up to and to catch up on his life a little bit. So, sir, if you will, please tell us your name and who's your crowd and where you're from.
I am from Marshallburg, Sleepy Creek, North Carolina, and my parents are Garland Lewis and Susan Lewis, and I was born in Marshallburg, and then my father was in the Coast Guard and moved away for a few years and came back.
Okay. Yep, this is Glenn Lewis, and he is a hard worker. I know that. And he's a good guy. And if you are from this area, you probably know him. And he's probably helped you along the way because he's, I think, a jack of all trades from what I gather. Glenn, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I know that we've played tag for a little bit trying to get together, and your end and my end, but we finally made it happen. So if you don't mind, take us back, and we haven't had a lot of folks on here talking about Marshallburg and growing up in Marshallburg. So I'm excited to hear the similarities and differences of what I know of growing up in the island because we grew up about the same time. So if you will take us back, what was it like growing up in Marshallburg?
Well, it was simple. It was ride your bike down around the community or walk or go out in the skiff. Even as youngins, we had skivs and pole skivs and ways to get around on the water. And then simple things like picking up bottles and cashing them in at the store, and had a local store, the INS over to Gloucester, and the store in the middle of Marshallburg. Real simple. Yeah, there was always plenty to do, swimming and just simple things.
Mm-hmm. So. I don't remember being bored a lot. I mean, we were always doing stuff.
We're always doing something, yeah.
I had forgotten about collecting bottles, but we did that. We sure did. And getting it wasn't very much, but they added up.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time on the island also. My grandmother lived in Garner's Mobile Home Park and had the shore house there, Aunt Marguerite Yeoman's. We always went there and went swimming there, and always came back because my grandparents were older, and we had to come home a lot from Daddy's job with the Coast Guard and tend to our grandparents or his parents.
So your dad was in the Coast Guard?
Yes. 20 years.
Wow. We've been talking to a lot of coasties lately, so it's been a fun topic. So you went to Smyrna to school?
I did. I went to Hatters High School, kindergarten, first grade, and I went to second grade in Newport, Rhode Island, and then started in Smyrna, third grade.
Was all of that thanks to the Coast Guard?
Yes.
Yes. And then Smyrna, you said you started in third grade.
Third grade.
Yep. What was that like? Because Smyrna school now has changed a lot since from when we were growing up.
Very, very much. Yeah. It was an old gymnasium was there. That was a nice building, but it was old. And then there was an old part of the school.
It was old then.
It was old then, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Daddy said that he was the first graduating class East Carteret, and went the high school in Smyrna up until 12th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he was the first graduating class East Carteret, 65. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then it was kindergarten through 8th grade at Smyrna, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how it was here on the island. When you were going through too, is about the time that Smyrna and Harker's Island would do some joint teams because of numbers. Do you remember anything about that? Because I remember us having to go over there for football and all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I remember doing that, but I wasn't involved in that. I played for the outside baseball team and the outside is Carteret County Recreation. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the sports I played was not necessarily with the school, which I did play basketball 7th, 8th grade at Smyrna, but the other sports was, Carteret County Recreation.
But rec baseball was a big deal.
It was.
When we were growing up.
It was.
That was a big, big deal. I'm playing there at the Eastern Park.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Fun times. A lot of fun times.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Fun memories there. For some reason, the concession stand there always had the best food to me. It was those hot dogs and nachos and things were so good. So good. So then we go to East Carteret. And I know when we left the island and when I went to East Carteret, that was a whole new world for little old me. Now, your sizes were a little bit bigger at Smyrna than they were here at the island, but they still weren't huge. Do you remember about how many?
Yeah, it was 28 to 30 per class is what I remember.
Yeah, and we'd have about 15 to 20 was huge if we had a 20.
That's right, yeah.
So what did you think about East Carteret? That was a big change, wasn't it?
It was. It didn't seem too complicated or big. It wasn't too big a shocker.
We seemed to get along well from what I remember going through school. Our crowd, everybody got along.
I thought so too.
Mm-hmm. They had a good time. We went to school with some good folks.
Yes, we did.
Now, what did you do after graduation?
Right after graduation, I started working for Don Morris Marina, the ferry service to Atlantic. Mm-hmm. And not too long after I started with them, I was able to get my captain's license and start running their boat. So I worked for them for 5 years.
Right out of high school.
Right out of high school.
So you were a youngin'.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I started clearing land by hand in the back, and then started helping him on the boat. And then they asked me if I would get my license, and I did, and I only ran the boat about 3.5 years because it took a year or so to get my license. Mm-hmm. And I was only 18 when I started, so I passed the test, and then I wasn't able to get my master's ticket till 19. So
wow.
I obtained my license.
So you were too young to get it when
Yep.
you could.
Yeah, when I passed the test. So they give me a mate's license, and then they give me a master's license once I turn 19. So I worked there for a little while until 95 or so, and then I worked at TDU Marine Construction for 8 or 10 months, and then we did a job across from Davis to Alger Willis Fish Camps. Mm-hmm. And then they saw that I was available and had my license, so I went to work with them for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet you have some stories of that.
Oh, yeah. Like working on the banks has always been fun. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Now, Algers, for folks that don't know, explain what that was, because that was a unique little experience there.
Yep, it was a ferry service, and then when I worked for them, they had 3 ferries, and then they had the cabins at Core Banks at across from Davis. They had 25 cabins that they would rent, and they were considered concessioners for the Park Service. And then after that, I worked at Lookout Express on Front Street in Beaufort, running the 73-foot boat to the Cape in the ocean for 2 years after that.
Wow.
And then after that, I started working with the Park Service.
Wow. So you've been doing this a long time.
I've been doing it a long time. Yeah.
So you're currently with the Park Service.
Yeah.
Now, what are you doing with them? Are you on the ferry or?
I run a 52-foot transport vessel for the Park Service, and then I do water, the infrastructure, water and sewer, and I do electrical work, plumbing work. But I work for the maintenance division, and I run the transport vessel there, and then work on the boats. And it's kind of like everything. But yeah, I've been there 23 years for the Park Service.
Wow. It's so crazy to me when, like, I look at you, it takes me back. And so when you and I talk about 20 years, 30 years, I've been teaching now for 30. How does that happen? We're too young for this, right?
It goes by so fast.
It sure does. Can you share any stories from any of those jobs that you've said that just kind of stand out? I don't know if it's people that you've met or things that have happened. Has anything crossed your mind that you can share?
There's so many stories and so many things that has happened. It's kind of hard to decipher, but I have met a lot of good people and made a lot of good friends. And through the years, there's been, tragedy. There's been close calls. There's been people that you've helped. Sometimes, many times, it's kind of hard to decipher the stories, bad or good.
Yeah. Well, that's, working on the water, everything can change so quickly, weather, all kinds of circumstances. But you've been doing this all your life. Has there ever been any instances where you still get surprised or shocked, or are you pretty even keel? Because the Glenn Lewis that I know has always seemed to be pretty even keel.
Yeah, it's when somebody said a boat gets washed up on the beach, or we had a boat not too long ago, a sailboat break up on Cape Point, and we had to pick up all the pieces up and down the beach. It's kind of like it's not a shocker, but it's, we still had to deal with it in one way or the other, or bring a company over there to deal with it, or call somebody to, and then there's, the people that get killed over there, and you had to deal with that one way, and there was a military person that got killed over there, and of course there was a big investigation, and I carried his mother over there from California, and so it's a spectrum.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Wow. And so you have worked on vessels that have carried vehicles on it.
Yeah, as the current one I work on.
That's the current one.
Yeah.
Is that as hard as it looks? Because it seems like when you're guiding people you're trying to pack as many in as you can, and people are people, and like, is that more challenging than not? Do you understand my question? It's like always interesting to me to watch you load.
It's if you have the right vessel, and which all of them are Coast Guard approved and certified, but the vessels and stuff, I've never even really thought about it like that, but because all the boats I worked on are just set up to do that, and it's not really been a bad issue. You work it out.
You just do it.
If you have a little problem or whatever, you you kind of just roll with it.
And see, that's the temperament that a captain needs, right? Just roll with it.
Or you take care of if you tweak it to where it'll work, where it will work. Just like on a boat. And like, well, I fish too, and I do part time, and I same way there.
That was my next question: is what do you do as for fun on the water? Like, what do you do on the side?
Well, the other couple of weeks ago, we went out and picked up some conchs, and we like to go out and get something to eat for ourselves or to sell, and I enjoy doing stuff like that. And then I do mullet fish and shrimp a little bit, and try to make money, and then of course enjoy what you catch.
So, for sure. Yeah. Yes. Now, what kind of boat do you have personally?
I've got a 22-foot core sounder, flat bottom for mulleting, and then I've got a sea ox for messing around shrimping in, and I'm fixing up a shrimp boat that I got from a local man, and I'm trying to get it going to shrimp with skimmer rigs, trawling doors and stuff. But,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, small boat, 32 foot.
Wow. Now, are you still, where are you living? Are you still in Marshallburg?
My mother and father actually gave me a piece of land when I was 21, and it's in the front yard of my daddy's land. And then I actually live across the road with my longtime girlfriend.
So you're still in the Sleepy Creek area?
I'm still exactly right where I grew up, and
lucky duck.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
It is.
It sure is. Wow. Is there anything that you would like to share that we haven't touched on?
I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I know I've enjoyed working for the Park Service, and I've enjoyed being able to stay local. The moving around when we were young was enjoyable. It wasn't bad. We always lived on the water.
Yeah.
Everywhere we've ever been.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. There's something to be said for that, isn't there?
It is. It is.
Yep. When you were growing up, what did you want to do when you grew up?
Yeah, it was hard to decipher what exactly I wanted to do because there was so many options, and a lot of my friends went tugboating and dredge boating and had to be away from home, but they made good money, and I just chose to stay here, and it was plenty of options, so it wasn't like you had to go anywhere, but obviously things change because it doesn't seem like a whole lot of options nowadays for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I know with a young person it has to be hard.
Yeah. Instead of options increasing, they do seem like there's not as plentiful as they used to be. We had a conversation not long ago with a young lady who's graduated from college recently, and she spoke on that, going through and not fully understanding what options were available in the area to be able to stay around home, and that was something that we didn't really worry with. It seemed like we always had a plan. We knew, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were blessed. Well, I appreciate you coming and for sharing part of your story and your life with us. I know from folks who have been able to keep up with you, we share a classmate, a friend that is able to see you very often through work, and you're still a great guy, and everybody loves you, and it's good to see that you're doing well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you again for joining us to The Landing. This podcast is brought to you by the Core Sound Waterfowl Museum and Heritage Center.
Tune in next week as we continue learning, sharing, and remembering together. If you'd like to hear more, check out our previous episodes where you get your podcasts. If you or someone you know is interested in being on the landing, please reach out through the link in the description. Until then, stay safe and be kind.